All right, Sanjay. So that red light came on. A lot of people get nervous right now. Do you want to go forward? Do you want to continue?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
He's good. He's in. He's in, everybody. Hey, well, why don't we do me a favor? Why don't you tell my listeners a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Well, yeah, I've been a practicing surgeon in the Washington, D.C. area for about 30 years or so. And so we started a company really to help patients connect with best outcome surgeons. So that means, if you have a shoulder injury or rotator cuff injury, you connect with the best orthopedic surgeon who does shoulders in your health plan. So, and the name of the company is SurgiQuality. So a group of surgeons started this some time ago, and that's what I'm here to talk about today.
That's cool. So I guess let's go back. What's the origin story? How did this idea kind of come up? Why'd you guys all come together? And maybe what problem you were seeing?
Yeah, so it really comes back to, I'm at the age of one coming to this country. My mom tells me this story how someone in our family needed some health care. We were in India, in Delhi, and this was 1962. My mom tells me that we actually traveled to the U.S. by ship on a month-long journey to find the right surgeon for my family member. For HIPAA concerns, I won't mention who, but needed the surgery, had a successful surgery, everything went well. But I had no idea that this history has kind of followed me because I became a surgeon in the Washington, D.C. area and realized how broken the healthcare system is today. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, so what starts to happen? Like, what do you guys start to look at as, like, maybe problem solution? And then it sounds like obviously you guys are the expert to bring this together, but what were you kind of seeing that you thought you guys could solve with the company?
So the main problems, Jeff, were, it's shocking that nearly up to 1 in 3 surgeries today is unnecessary. And it's coming at a cost of about $210 billion. The surgical market is $880 billion. And patients also are being referred to surgeons who don't necessarily have the best outcomes. And so patients end up with poor outcomes. What do I mean by that? Inadequate surgeries, incomplete surgeries, wrong-sized implants, infections, need revision surgery. The system is completely a mess. And why is it happening? Because primary care providers are referring to surgeons on the basis of habit and not on real quantitative information on outcomes. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that totally makes sense. You're really kind of getting into a little bit around transparency is what it sounds like. So, how do you describe sort of true transparency in this ecosystem that you're talking about?
Well, and to go even further, patients also are unaware of alternative options to
Hmm.
surgery. You take a patient with a colon cancer today who gets referred to a colorectal surgeon who needs half their colon removed, and they had no idea that there's these interventional gastroenterologists that can remove a tumor from the colon right through a colonoscope for a fraction of the cost and back to work the next day. And in some cases, an oncologist can, if they have a certain molecular subtype, an oncologist can give them a medication that can just make the tumor disappear without surgery.
Wow.
So our solution really is a multidisciplinary, multi-opinion service, but it's on steroids because the opining surgeons offer their electronic medical record database. We take their de-identified surgical case records. That means the cases they did last year, how many procedures they did, and we run it through our generative AI engine. And we have different Gen AI models for each specialty, and we come up with risk-adjusted outcome scores. So we're empowering patients with not only multiple opinions, but also outcome scores by the procedure that they need. Does that all make sense to you?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So I was thinking about those data inputs that you're kind of talking about. So how are you ranking what is trustworthy in those data inputs?
Well, remember, this is a very validated database. This is not
Hmm.
coming from Medicare and claims, which is in the marketplace today. We're going
Hmm.
right to their electronic medical records. We're connecting directly, so we're seeing every operative note, every surgery they did last year. and we're analyzing from a validated database. But on top of it, generative AI does have this chance of hallucinating and giving you erroneous answers. So
Hmm.
we've built a rules-based governance framework around it to constantly check it. And this all runs within a high trust certified platform. And high trust, if you don't know, the viewers, it's an ultra HIPAA compliant platform in the cloud. So we've built lots of safeguards, and we have an advisory board that's helping us developing the right quality measures for the right procedure. A lot to say, but I hope you got that.
Yeah, yeah. So, are there existing metrics out there that people use? Is that Medicare quality measures or anything like that in the system right now?
So in Medicare and claims, they're very generalized. Some of them are hospital readmission rates, mortality rates. Obviously, are very important. But we're getting much more granular, and we're looking at the whole database because Medicare only looks for um, patients who are 65 and over and disabled, and claims has the problem that only if they got readmitted does it show up as a claim. If you have gallbladder surgery, we're looking for how many times the surgeon may have transected or incised the common bile duct, which is a real problem. So we're looking at very granular metrics by surgeon, by CPT procedure code. So it's
Hmm,
very validated. It's
yeah.
something that's unique. We have a patent on the technology. This was just granted in May of this year, and we're so excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are there certain types of procedures that work best for what you're working on? Is it everybody, all medical procedures, or is there certain categories that you kind of stay in?
Well, within surgeries, obviously some are urgent. They don't
Hmm.
really have time for all this analysis, right? So we categorize it in my book. I talk about this. 8% of surgeries are urgent and are not amenable to referral optimization. But 92% of all surgeries, all procedures, and when I say surgeries, I'm including colonoscopies and, uh, things that people don't even think about as surgery.
Hmm.
But 92% of all surgeries are amenable to referral optimization. There's time between the time you're told you need a procedure and the time you're scheduled. So there's ample time to get that accomplished and make sure you're seeing the right doc.
Right, right. So this U.S. market system, gigantic. How do you see what you guys are currently doing in and scale? What does scale look like? That feels like a gigantic mountain, but how do you sort of think about what you guys are doing and scale in this big ecosystem?
Yeah, so we have some very important strategic partnerships. One of our strategic partnerships is Tendo, which is a company that is partnered with very large self-insured employers, Fortune 500 companies. So they are the engine behind quality scoring of
Mm,
hospitals
okay.
for 10.5 million lives from very, very large companies. And they help most of the health systems with boosting their rankings by improving clinical documentation. So they're very unique because they give us a huge patient population, but they also give us all these surgeons and providers from the health systems. That's just one of our partnerships. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah. So how does you guys position yourself around maybe like for employers around saving money, patient quality? Like, do you see yourself kind of positioning yourself with employers with what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so these 10.5 million lives are with self-insured employers,
Hmm.
and it does cost them to use the service. We charge about $1,000 per surgery that comes through, and they expect to save about $500 per member per year, which is quite substantial.
Yeah.
So if you look at the metrics a little bit on scale, you're looking at saving $50 million and spending 20 million to save 50 million. And how does that happen? Well, you avoid unnecessary surgeries. You find alternatives to surgeries. You get them minimally invasive surgeries if they need them, and get them back to work right away. There's a tremendous savings there.
Yeah. And can you walk us through a little bit around how you're because you're going with such a data approach, you're getting rid of disparities about surgical outcomes for different ethnicities, like black patients, stuff like that. Like, are you guys seeing something where you guys are positioning like and just using the data in a unique way that kind of levels the playing field?
Yeah, so our nurse concierge, gathers your medical records when you're told you need surgery.
Hmm.
And the first thing we do is we de-identify, obviously,
Hmm.
but we de-identify to name, race, and ethnicity. And so we're sending the cases out for multiple opinions based on, and the algorithms for treatment are based on the condition, not on how they appear.
Mm.
So we're trying to make a major impact on implicit bias with the providers. Um, it's not perfect, but it's a great start. And it dovetails into the conversation of the foundation we started, the Race and Health Foundation, and we also wrote a book, Race Forward, the Health Equity Guide for Employers. So it's available on, if you don't mind me saying,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. I'd love to hear it.
raceandhealthfoundation.org. So we're excited to bring that book to fruition.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really interesting. Let's talk maybe over around like just the business model. So I guess how do you guys make money in this ecosystem that you're building?
Yeah, so it's primarily through employers and health plans, where we charge $1,000 per surgery that comes through, and the revenues are, quite robust when you look at large numbers and large scale numbers. We're quite happy where we are. We just recently have a collaboration with Mayo Clinic, and we're hoping to obtain data to score the Mayo Clinic surgeons as well as the Mercy Health Plan surgeons, and bring those also to the employers as well as University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, who was my alma mater next year. So we're scaling rapidly, and uh, we're really excited about where we are.
Yeah. How are you just on the entrepreneur side? How are you balancing work life, balance life, startup life, partnerships, everything you just talked about? How are you balancing all of this?
Well, I had a practice for 30 some years, and I was getting up at 3 in the morning, working with my technology team, as most crazy people do. And, I'd be working between patients at lunchtime, in the evenings, weekends. It's such a mission driven project for me. Just because of the legacy of how I came here to this country, so I think it just powers me on, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. How has your perspective changed over those 30 years? I mean, just in terms of leading technology, like, has there been any major shifts that you've seen?
Well, the idea came to me, Jeff. It's funny you said that 2014 to do this. We weren't ready. We didn't have a cloud. We didn't have uh, surgeons and physicians were still on paper. Meaningful use hadn't come around. Electronic medical records started becoming in use. The cloud was there, but it wasn't HIPAA compliant.
Hmm.
And the HIPAA compliance took time. In 2019, we really made a major push with getting some outside funding. So
Yeah.
that allowed us to do that. And
Yeah.
generative AI, of course, the birth of generative AI has allowed us to analyze reams and reams of data very, very, very quickly, which is really exciting.
Yeah. And where do you see, yourself next year around the company, maybe 3 years out, and then let's go 5 years out? Like, where do you see these big milestones happening in the next few years?
Yeah, I think the next year will be tremendous growth, simply from the health institutions that I mentioned. 3 years out, it's a little hard to know, but my vision is that we will continue to scale, perhaps IPO at some point, maybe get acquired by a large payer. I don't know. I mean, it's
Mhm.
very difficult to know,
Yeah.
but the mission will live on.
Yeah. And how about what's keeping you up at night around the company?
Well, good ideas in healthcare die without fuel.
Hmm.
So if you don't have enough capital behind you, then these good ideas can die. So the things that keep me up is really our capital raise. So we're raising about $3 million right now at a pretty low valuation. It's a great entry point for any investor.
Yeah. And how do you guys sort of think about investing? Are there is there a roadmap that you want to do? I know you guys just finished up, I believe, a Start Engine campaign not too long ago. But like how do you guys sort of think about fundraising just in general as like, hey, we want to hit this milestone, then we're gonna go here. Just is there sort of a game plan around fundraising?
Well, I haven't mentioned, but we've raised 7 million to date, and
Okay.
I've got a good chunk of that of my own, a lot of skin in the game,
Hmm.
and it came mostly from surgeons and call center owners and the like. We're envisioning a $3 million raise now, pre-seed, seed capital, sorry, seed,
Hmm. Hmm.
all through convertible notes, and then we'll probably do a Series A sometimes next year, probably second quarter of next year. And then we'll go from there. We'll see how much the revenues allow us to really needing any more capital, which is hopefully it's a startup's dream.
Yeah. What's the biggest need on capital? Is it marketing? Is it structure? Like what are some of the needs around it?
Yeah, the use of funds is primarily implementation with Mayo Clinic and UPMC and Ortho Forum, which I haven't mentioned, the 4,000 orthopedic surgeons that we're currently working with and collaborating with. So it really has to do with implementation, with getting into their electronic medical record system, scoring their surgeons, and bringing that to the marketplace. And obviously, there's payroll support with that.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Is there a heavy tech involvement, just building out the infrastructure, or is a lot of that stuff already built?
yeah, a lot of that stuff's been built. We're enterprise level and market ready. We're searching for the right AI partner to help us go even further.
Hmm.
Always looking around.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, if people are interested to connect with you, dive in, learn more, where should we send people?
You can send them to me. I'm happy to talk to them. S Prasad, SPRASAD at surgiquality.com. SURGI quality, QUALITY.com. Happy to talk to anyone.
Awesome. Well, Sanjay, I appreciate you taking time out of your day. This was a really interesting conversation. I'm always fascinated by these worlds and companies that get started and all this stuff. It really is fascinating, and I think what you guys are doing is a huge mission, and one that I'm excited to kind of keep following from my vantage point. So again, appreciate you taking time out of your day, and for everybody listening, I'll have all the links in the show notes. So please go click, dive in, reach out, and support this amazing company. Thanks so much.
Great. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for having me on.